All right, welcome everyone. Today's April Fool's Day, 2021. It is the biweekly SIG Instrumentation meeting. So welcome everyone. We have only a couple things on our agenda today. The first is webhook cause critical failures, making webhook cause critical failures more visible. Dinghua, do you want to take this one?
Yes, sure. Actually, I just pasted the link to my doc on the meeting note, and I will share my screen. No, I cannot share my screen. Anyway.
Oh, actually, let me make you a co-host. Sorry. Okay, you are now a co-host.
Still disabled. Should I rejoin? But anyways, I think the doc is publicly accessible, so feel free to open the doc. And yes, so
you should be able to share now.
Let me try again. Okay, yeah, good. So, hi everyone. I'm Dinghua from the GKE team. My team on GKE is to manage the master running on GKE, and so during our our team found that yes, the webhook is a very it's a very impactful, it's very useful, and also very dangerous things for Kubernetes. So admission webhook can validate or mutate a request, but I think the webhook the permission to create a webhook is system critical or cluster admin. I forgot, but yeah. So you can create a user can create a webhook to block any six critical requests like kube controller manager and kube scheduler list renewal. So which means that for cloud providers, a user can create a webhook to break their critical component, which are hosted on the by the cloud provider. So so it's a it's very powerful, but it's still also very dangerous. So there have been a lot of discussion about how to improve the webhook to reduce such risks, but I don't think there are any fundamental improvement on the Kube API server side or the API machinery side, because the design of the webhook is very complex. And so I think for what can we do in SIG instrumentation is that to improve the metrics associated with the webhook. So currently there are two metrics. One is the webhook duration second, which records the latency of a webhook, and webhook rejection, and which records the number of rejections and of the webhook. So for these two metrics, we have the name label, the type labeled operation, and rejected or the reject code, but we only have the name of the webhook. We can identify the latency of a webhook or the rejection count of a webhook. However, we cannot see which objects the webhook which objects the request is trying the web how to say which object the object of the request that the webhook is operating on. So for example, I want to know that the webhook has a back impact on the request for kube controller list renewal, but from these metrics I cannot identify them. So the idea here is that we want to know which object, or at least what kind of object the webhook is affecting. So previously there is a resource there is a there is a resource related labels, so like the resource name, the sub resource, etc. But they were removed from 1.11 because of a high cardinality. There may be too many objects, so these two metrics will just consume too much memory, and the proposal here is that hey, we don't put the resource label, but we put the namespace label, which is also very helpful because we can identify that whether a webhook is affecting the cube system namespace. So if we can detect this, we know that some the webhook may be misconfigured and it may taking the critical component down. So so the proposal here is to add a namespace label, and I don't think the cardinality is a problem because the number of namespaces is much less than the number of objects. So although in theory, so the number of namespaces is unbounded, but thanks to this cap, so we have this cap called dynamic cardinality enforcement. With this cap, we can configure a Cube API server to accept only a few allow listed namespaces. So for example, we can configure to accept Cube system only and other important namespaces only. So cardinality won't be a problem. And I also found another problem is that for the duration metrics only, the webhook duration only the range of the histogram is 0 second to 2.5 second. But for some critical requests, the timeout, say for example, the leader election, the timeout by default is 10 seconds. And I think it has been lowered to 5 seconds in the most recent version. But with a maximum of 2.5 seconds, we cannot observe the timeout. So the idea is here is to address the second problem is to extend the bucket from 0 to 2.5 to 0 to 2.5, then 5 and 10 seconds. So this is two simple improvement for the webhook related metrics, and hopefully this can help us identify some webhook behavior on the critical request easier. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think that sounds reasonable. So like you're basically making, as I understand it, suggesting two changes, which is the bucket size and the label.
Yes.
I think that last sentence is out of date.
Which one?
The last sentence.
This one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's out of date.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So your observation on the buckets is actually it's a good observation, and in fact, I think we should probably update our instrumentation guidelines so that histogram buckets always end in the timeout with the timeout value, because otherwise we end up with the same problem that you mentioned, which is you can never observe a timeout.
Yep. Okay, so I think this is the first time I'm trying to add something to the OSS Kubernetes. So could you advise what's the next step? So do I need to create an issue and then, yeah, I would definitely send a code to improve these two metrics. But do I need to create an issue first and then send a PR and then?
You can create an issue. Yeah. Creating an issue with this problem statement is probably a good idea.
Yep.
You can possibly throw it up on the API machinery thing because it's their code.
Yep. So,
and,
okay, I see.
And yeah.
So, yeah, and then after creating the issue, I assign myself.
Yeah, you can just assign it to yourself. Yeah.
I see, and then send for review, and I can ask anyone from instrumentation to review, and also CC.
Yeah. We'll be CC'd on it. I might be on the API machinery approver list for these metrics. So
no problem.
Yeah, I can review
cool.
it for you.
Cool. Thanks. And
Yep.
yeah, I'm done with my part.
Yeah, well, thanks, Dinghua. Next, I guess we have Coffee Pack with the Fluent Bit Elasticsearch issue.
Hello, I'm Coffee Pack. So basically, SIG Instrumentation owns a couple of cluster add-ons. And apologies for the noise, I'm getting a new water heater put in. So we own a couple of cluster add-ons, one of which is the Fluent D Elasticsearch one that I am an owner for, and it's time to move it out. So the question is, I saw that SIG Instrumentation just got a repo created, instrumentation utils. So my question was, do you want me to move it there, or do you want me to like create a new repo, or does anyone have really any care mads about this at all? This still does get quite a bit of usage. I think the last time I checked, it's getting something like 80,000 or 20,000 Quay actions a day. Whatever Quay action is, I assume it's you know, a tag lookup or an image pull. So I don't think we want to just get rid of it. It still has some utility to the community. But it's got to get out of cluster add-ons. Just got to get out of KK clusters.
Yeah, I'm okay with. Probably we should make a new repo for this.
Okay.
Yeah, I can follow up with the repo creation people and try to get one created. So I'll take that as an AI.
All right, there are two. I mean, so the other one that this SIG owns is the Fluent D GCP add-on. I have never looked at that. I don't know what the state of it is. I don't know if it gets used at all. But if we want to move it now, I'm happy to like turn the crank twice. I mean, that's fine.
What if we did instrumentation add-ons?
That would
And
be
then we
totally
just-
fine as well.
Okay. Okay, awesome. I created an AI for that, and I will.
I think at one point there was a Prometheus add-on. I don't know. I mean, I've been going for quite a while.
Yeah, it's nice to see you again.
COVID.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, so, okay, I'll create the SIG repo for instrumentation add-ons. I'll try to do it by the next SIG meeting.
Metric server is the other one, which is probably.
Metric servers has its own repo though, right?
Oh, I mean, it's still in cluster add-ons.
Merrick, do you know about this?
I mean, it's just gonna be the add-on for it.
Yeah.
It's just the add-on part?
Yeah, it's a SIG inst thing.
Merrick?
All right, so yeah, I think like a instrumentation add-ons repo. There's 3 targets for it. I mean, it's just a big
Okay.
file of YAML.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. I will create the SIG repo for instrumentation add-ons.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah. We have one more thing, one more issue. It's not on here, but it's with the working group formation. So Merrick, do you have any news on that or?
I'm still in the process of creation. I need to figure out some things on my side to make sure that I have enough time to commit. I also discussed with someone with Tim Hawking what was discussing over like our success criteria and what we want to focus. Hope to have the process of working group creation started next week.
Okay, and that includes the charter, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Cool. Then I think that's it for the agenda. So does anyone else have anything that they want to talk about? Alrighty then, going once, going twice. Okay, then I will give everyone 13 minutes back of your life. Thanks everyone for joining. I will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Very good.